It helps if I turn the volume up on the mic, yeah? It's always get off to a great start. Let's just hope that that's the only thing that goes wrong today. Celtic entertain, well, we don't entertain because we're the away team at Hampden today. And Chris Sutton has been talking to the media, as he does, doing his little thing. Now, why has it started to buffer? Why has it started to buffer? There we go, it's all fine. Chris Sutton's been talking to the media, as he does, with his article today in one of the rags, and he says that Celtic need to take Aberdeen seriously at Hampden or risk being at the end of another massive underdog story. I have said that I don't think that when you look at he's talking about Crystal Palace winning the FA Cup against Man City. I see everyone saying that Celtic are going to win 5-0. I'm not saying they're going to win 5-0, Chris. I think it's going to be a lot closer than that. I think that this Aberdeen team are going to play in such a way today to try and stifle Celtic as much as possible. Now, they're not going to play the crazy attacking football, and I don't see the news that's kicking around. There's another story. This one doesn't want to go away, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but could this be Dyson Maida's last game for Celtic? I know it's cup final morning, but this story does not want to go away. It's understood that Aston Villa, they know that they can secure the services of Dyson Maida for a fee of £25 million. £25 million. Ahead of a transfer, Maida would need to clear his medical. They do not expect it to be an issue for the Japan internationalist. Oh, he's been injury free all season. There might be some adaptation to the new league, but it doesn't put him at risk of injury, they're saying. They reckon that they are going to go. At 27-year-old, the forwards has scored 33 goals and provided 12 assists in 50 appearances this season for Celtic, demonstrating his clinical edge and creativity, his pace, work rate and ability to play across the front line. Clearly a wide role offer Villa tactical flexibility, especially as they target Champions League consolidation. That could be absolutely devastating for Celtic. I have said all summer, I've said all season that I think Dyson Maida will be sold this summer. The valuation is 25 million, falls in line with what Celtic have been selling players for. And it's a story that's not gone away from Birmingham. They're still talking about it. I'm not adding to the speculation, but I have said at 27-year-old, Brendan Rodgers has also said it about players. When they get to 27, they know that this is their big move. This is their last big payday. And Brendan Rodgers will not stand in the way of any player at 27-year-old that wants to leave Celtic, as long as they bring in some decent cash. Fucking why was Taylor allowed to leave for nothing then? A lot of people are saying 35 million. It's always 25 million pounds for Celtic players. Yeah, it is, David, isn't it? Grab Boy, good morning to you. How are you this morning? Grab Boy 7. And Charlie Parry said, get the fucking mosquito dead. Getting back to that, Charlie Parry says 35 million minimum. Did you see the interview with Maida and Rio? It seems like they know what they're talking about. They know how the media plays. Just reading between the lines. Yeah, I did watch that on Celtic TV, Lanky, on the Celtic YouTube channel. Them getting interviewed by the Japanese reporter. It's they know how it all plays out, but when it comes to it, they know that the buzzing for today. I wish I was buzzing, to be honest. I mean, I'm going to go to a pub down in Orwell Costa, and it'll not be the same as last week as being at the game. And yeah, I miss it. I do. I really do miss it. And last week just gave me the buzz for it again. And I know lots of people that will be going today. I'm sure I've seen them all getting ready this morning already. I've been on Facebook and they're all... it's never too early for a pint on cup final day, is it? That's all I'm saying. There's buses leaving already that I've seen, and fair play to them. They've all been in the pub already. And that's what I miss. In the pub at 8:30 in the morning for breakfast on cup final day, and then away through to another boozer in Glasgow. So yeah, when it comes to the game today, I think that that interview seems like it was to grab attention for clubs. Lanky, they don't need to grab attention for the clubs, for other clubs. I've said it all season, and I don't like to, I've pinpointed those two players due to the asset value that they have to Celtic. I think Rio will be a big miss today. I'm not too sure. I think that the players that will... It's going to be Paulo Bernardo. Paulo Bernardo actually has been talking about... Whilst we're talking about Paulo Bernardo, he's been talking about Jota. Yeah. Paulo Bernardo's been talking about Jota, how he offered an update on Jota, saying that he's obviously back in Portugal for his operation on his knee and his rehab. Celtic allowed him to go back home for the duration of they obviously took care of the surgery side, and then they allowed him to go back to Portugal and just spend the summer in Portugal on rehab. Paulo Bernardo says, I'll probably be with him after the game. I spoke to him on Wednesday. He seemed okay. His operation went very well. He's doing well on rehab. I think he's okay. I'll see him next week, says Paulo Bernardo. He's determined to come back here in January very strong. He told me that he wasn't very fit at the time because of the game time he had before, which probably didn't help with and probably a little bit caused the knee issue. But he did go over it badly, but the fitness hasn't helped it. But I think he shows everyone at Celtic what he can do, and his football again. He scored goals, made assists, played important games. He had a great response, and I think that's in his mind. He's very strong, says Paulo Bernardo, talking about Jota. He said to me that the surgery went well. Obviously, he's a great player. The fans love him. He's a really great guy. I was already a friend of him at Benfica, and his coming back here to Celtic was good for me too. So Jota won't be on his travels this summer, or will he be on his travels, or will he just stay at home and just enjoy the Portuguese weather? I think that's more than likely. You can't see him walking around too much on his knee. So with Jota being out of the game today, Rio Hatate being out of the game today, there was only a delay inevitable with Maida if he got injured. There's people talking about Dyson getting injured. And talking back about Dyson and Rio, I think that today will be the last game that they play for Celtic, unfortunately. I think that they will want to go out on a high. Paddy Burns is buzzing for the game today. Just shut up. I'm not even reading the comments anymore, because the jealousy is just like oozing at me today. Completely oozing at me. I'm buzzing for the game. But we'll see. I need to drive down to the pub and drive back up, so that kind of takes the excitement out of it for me. But then again, cup finals, I'll probably miss not going back to Celtic Park after it, because I think going back to Celtic Park today, I think that there's going to be a few surprises from Celtic today at Celtic Park after the game. Anyway, we'll pray and hope that Jota is back. Jota was given 6 to 9 months to recuperate from the knee injury, and he asked my brother how long it took him. He's had the same operation 3 times, twice on one knee and once on the other. But those players are missing today. It is up to the Celtic team that's here to make themselves legends. Even if it is the last game for Rio Hatate and Dyson Maida, they will want to make sure that they go out winners. The fact that Dyson Maida is still being linked with Aston Villa at a £25 million price tag, and the fact that he's not signed a new contract, he has told Celtic that he wants to wait till the summer. Now, we all know the last time that happened, the player moved on. And the last time a manager done that, yes, it was Ange Postecoglou. He was offered a fantastic deal to stay at Celtic, was Ange. And he told, you've got to remember this, and I'll never forget, and I'll never forgive Ange for this, that on the day of the Scottish Cup final, right before the game in Hampden, Ange Postecoglou turned around to Lawwell and Dermot Desmond and said that he wanted to go and speak to Tottenham before the game kicked off. And I always remember when the game finished and the fans were ecstatic that we had won and we'd done the treble, and the camera pans to Dermot Desmond and Peter Lawwell in the stand at Hampden, and their faces were tripping them. And I knew then, and then Martin O'Neill asked him to stay live on air on the TV, and he just evaded the question and he left Celtic. But that was good for us in a way, because it got Dermot pissed off and got him to phone his old mate Brendan Rodgers. And today we stand on the doorsteps of Celtic Park, hopefully with another treble in hand. Another treble in hand, and a manager that has brought back Kieran Tierney. That would never have happened if Ange Postecoglou was at the club. He would never have brought back Kieran Tierney. And the fact that Kieran Tierney will be in the stands, just like me and you, well, not me, because I'm fucking sitting here, I'm not. But he will be in the stands like a Celtic fan, and this is why. They put this one on so I've got the right camera. This is why we're not here to take part, we're here to take over. I think that's for about 2017-18 season in this t-shirt. 2017-2018 season. Absolutely fantastic. I thought I would just bring it out the wardrobe beside all the other merch and put it on this morning. I'm not going to wear it all day, or will I? I'm going to jump in the shower and have a shave stuff. We've got a cup final. Do you have any cup final? Do you have anything that you do before the cup final? Because let's face it, perfect weather today, Baz, raining. Des, do not tell me it's raining in Glasgow. We never do good at Hampden when it's raining, by the way. Sometimes. I'm not there, so I'll be fine. Do you have any pre-match rituals that you go through on the day of the cup final? Do you have anything that you might do before a game like this, just to make sure? Do you wear lucky pants or lucky socks? I always listen to the song Grace before the game, says Lanky. It's pissing down. Oh, you're kidding on. Gemma, how are you? I notice you're back in the chat, and I hope the baby's doing well. It's going to clear up before kick-off, and always offer up a prayer. I remember on the road to Seville, I used to always have a drambuie before a game, and I did that for a lot of years. And I'd have a little, just a wee drambuie. I would put one bit of ice in the glass, put the drambuie in it, and leave the drambuie in it, and then have a drambuie. It doesn't matter where I was, even when I went to games, I used to do it as well. So yeah, morning all, in London bound for the game for the Wimbledon Celtic Supporters Club, says Mikey Boy. What a way to celebrate my birthday on cup final day. Happy birthday to Gemma. We need some silverware to bring home, as if we've not got enough silverware, huh? That's it. We beat Aberdeen to win the treble in the rain. Yeah, I know we did. That kind of got rid of it. Why do you have a dislike for Spurs? Because they're horrible fans. Yobia, they're horrible fans. And if you know football fans from the 1980s and everything, and going back over the years, they've always been arsehole fans. So why should I like another club? I love Celtic. I don't get this fucking love for another club, and I don't care if Ange is the manager. I'm Celtic first and foremost. So, do you know, I dislike Rangers, I dislike Spurs, I dislike Chelsea. They're even worse. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to like Spurs just because Ange Postecoglou's there. Why do you love Spurs? Tell me that. It's because of Ange. Anyway, we move on for that. Gemma, a lot of people saying happy birthday to Gemma. It's breezy along with the rain. It will affect the way we play. Will it affect the way we play, Jim? I don't know. I think Brendan Rodgers will wake up and they'll be having breakfast at the hotel right now. 9 o'clock in the morning, they'll all be sitting. They'll probably all be sitting down for breakfast at the hotel, making sure that everyone had a good night's sleep. Everyone will know who's playing already. Brendan Rodgers has told us that. So the guys that aren't playing, they'll just be going through their morning routine, getting their mindset ready for obviously travelling to Hampden, getting their suits on, travelling to Hampden, and looking forward to when they may come on in the second half, because the players that don't start today will come on in the second half. Mikey Boy says, correct, Baza, can't support any other team. Yeah, I don't get all this nonsense. I mean, fair play to Ange for doing it, but I'm not going to congratulate fucking Spurs. Piss off. I just tell it as it is, and if people don't like that, I mean, it's tough. Do you think that the fucking Spurs lot love Celtic? Do they? Fuck, they hate us. Spurs hate Celtic with a vengeance. You're right, Baz. Look at the fans with his hands on his heart. Big happy birthday to Gemma. Fuck the weather, we're still scudding them. Will we scud them? I don't think so. DJ GTX says this will be a good game today. Aberdeen will be up for it. It would be a good win for us, Baz. I think it will be a good game. I don't think that it's going to be a game. All these 5-0 and that scorelines, I think that they're going to play a really tight game today. Like I said, I think that they will press us high up the park and try and not give us too much room to move about. They'll when our keeper passes out for the back, they'll have 3 players up front pushing at us to try and make sure if any mistakes, and they're going to jump on it. So watch out for that today. If Sinisalo starts, it'll be good, because Sinisalo likes to get out the ball a bit quicker than what Kasper Schmeichel does, to be honest, and he's got good throwing ability as well. So it'll be interesting to see what keeper starts today. Big shout out to Napoli. Yep, I know by the way, there's quite a few Celtic fans that support Napoli that went over for the game last night, and fair play to them. They've been Napoli. They've got a connection with the Napoli ultras though, and Napoli fans. There's actually a picture of me and one of my mates up in Dundee. It was at Dundee's ground, yeah. And he gets at the Napoli flag. So yeah, that goes a way back though. The friendship between Napoli and Celtic. So fair play to the guys that all went over yesterday for that. What's the scenes? The scenes in that city. The scenes outside the stadium when they scored. It's unbelievable. Anyway, and it just shows you, I mean, the fucking media in Scotland are berating Celtic fans for their celebrations. And then you see that the whole city was in absolute mayhem when Napoli were playing. Never mind when they won the game and they won the league, during the game. Let's jump back at something. Baz, you're right. Look at the fans with his hand on his heart too. Beat the sheep the last time it was raining, says Joseph. Yep. It's raining here in England today after the good weather we did have, Baz. Yeah, it was raining here yesterday. Well, it didn't just rain, there was flooding here yesterday again. It was that much rain. I think Aberdeen will try and kick Celtic off the park today. Kieran, I'm not too sure if they'll kick them off the park, because that will play into Celtic's hands and they'll end up getting a player sent off. And that'll allow Celtic to just run riot. Celtic will up the pace. When you look at when Aberdeen started doing that at the game up in Pittodrie a couple of weeks ago, what it did do is it got Celtic into focus gear, and the one-touch pass, the fast attacking football started again. It was like, right, fuck them. They want to try and kick us off the park. Right, we'll show you how to play football, boys. And it's like the fast attacking football, the fast moving the ball about. They couldn't get the ball, so they start losing the plot and then going in for even harder tackles. I think that would just play into Celtic's hands. I think that Jimmy Thielen will tell the players today that don't go into crazy hard tackles, stand your ground, be firm, and don't let Celtic, try and not let Celtic play, but at the same time close them down quick, close them down on their own half, and try and get the second ball. You know, when they've got the ball, try and close them down so they can't pass as quick. If you've got to double up on the wingers, double up on the wingers. They'll tell them to double up on Daizen Maeda and Nico Kuhn, and then, you know, you can tell the way that Jimmy Thielen's going to do it. It's all about Celtic and the way that they can do it. And I think that if we turn up from the first minute today, you can tell within the first 5 minutes of a Celtic game what kind of mood the players are in. And if we start the game with the one-touch, fast, attacking football that we can do, or if we start the game and it's 2 or 3 steps pass, that goes on to the other players. Other players pick that up, and then it's up to Kalmak to, come on, speed the game up. Kalmak will be on that pitch today, telling everybody, fucking get a move on. You know, he'll tell them in the huddle, there's not going to be, this is the last game of the season. We show them how we play. We determine the pace of the game. You know, we decide when we win, and we win today. And that's it. We're not here to take part, we're here to take over. We rule Scotland. Come on. And that'll be the team talk from Kalmat this morning. Casper starts, 100% Casper starts fit. Ewan Boy Martin says, I'm not sure that he was 100% fit in the last game of the season. That's why I'm thinking it could be important for Brendan to look at the games that Sinisalo's played in over the last couple of weeks. Look at the stats, and he'll look at the stats from the last game. You know, the game at Celtic Park wasn't a great game when we won the league. You know, we didn't play well at all. There was a few players that you could tell it was the last game at Celtic Park. Greg Taylor won. Greg Taylor was swanning about the back four at Celtic Park, and he spent more time looking about during the game. He knew it was his last game at Celtic Park. He was taking it in. He's like, the fucking league's done. We're champions today. I'm taking as much of this atmosphere in as we can. And then you heard Brendan, that whistle for Brendan Rodgers. Now, when you go to games, you know how loud Brendan Rodgers' whistle is, because you can hear it from every part of the stadium. And there was one point, you could see him berating Taylor to get into the middle of the pitch, and then Taylor gets into the middle of the pitch and mixes it up a bit, and we start playing a bit better. Anyway, turn up and there's only one winner, says Peter King. Yeah, it's all about if we turn up though. I would just go, Kieran says they take 2-0 today. Aberdeen are due a win sometime. Let's hope it's not today. Been ridiculously hot here, Baz. I have black man's feet. Why are you walking about with nothing on your feet? Scottish media hate Celtic fans. We are the best, says Peter King. Demolition job. T1 says demolition. Is it a demolition job today? It'd be fantastic if it is. But you can understand what Chris Sutton is saying. Chris Sutton has warned that the year of the underdog. This could be the year of the underdog in Scotland. It's been the year of the underdog in England. If you look at who just won the Europa, that was a bit an underdog because everyone expected Man United to win it, because let's say Man United have got the better recent history. When you look at the form that Aberdeen have been on though, it doesn't look great, does it? Aberdeen fans are turning up in big numbers today because every single season ticket holder got 4 briefs each. Yep. They're taking along their aunties, their uncles, their dugs, cousins that they've never spoke to for 5 years. And anybody, they're just going, mate, I've got you a ticket, you're going. But the good thing about that is, when it gets to the 70-minute mark and Celtic are winning 3-0, the Aberdeen fans will be like, fucking get us out of here. Get me back. The Northern Lights will be out and they'll heading back up to Aberdeen with their tail between their legs, trying to find the quickest route to the sheep up past Perth. But anyway, Aberdeen in recent months, in the second half of the season, haven't been that great. But when you look at the first half of the season and what they did the first half of the season, until they played Celtic at Hampden, we all thought that Aberdeen could maybe last a season and push Celtic right to the end of the season. And the irony is, come the last game of the season, it is Aberdeen that are pushing us the last game. But as you missed out on the sheep, did I? Kieran says, that's right, Aberdeen's form is terrible. The confidence has to be at a record low. But does it though? Does it? Does it? Because they've got to a Scottish Cup final. So you've got to be proud of you're buzzing for that. It's the last game of the season. It's the showpiece game of the season in Scottish football. And they're there. It doesn't matter what happened between Christmas and now. Do you know, when you've got to go over the whole season. You know, the Scottish Cup started way months back, and you've got to beat who's in front of you to get to the final. So it just shows you that there's a good team in there, and there's a good manager. So Hampden will turn the WWF of Aberdeen getting beat by us. Well, that European game is different. Probably our best performance was on Europe. Aberdeen put up a good fight, 5-0, probably a bit harsh. I hope this doesn't come back to bite us on the bum today. I'm serious. I hope it doesn't come back to bite us on the bum, because if Aberdeen were to do the unthinkable and win the game today, God, it's not even worth thinking about. But as they're pish, you know, it's a one-off game, but they're done for today. There's a lot. I don't like this overconfidence. We went to Germany. I'm going to put a warning out there. I'm going to do a Chris Sutton. We went toe-to-toe, right? T1 says we went toe-to-toe with Bayern Munich. We went to Germany with all the confidence in the world. All the confidence in the world. And we got absolutely hammered. We're going into this game with all this confidence. And I'm just saying, if we don't take them serious, if the players do not start the first 15 minutes, where's Lanky's gone? I seen Lanky talking about the first 15 minutes. Lanky says the first 15 minutes is crucial, and if we are 2-0 up by then, it'll be a big score. I don't think we'll score in the first 15 minutes. It's very rarely that we score in the first 15 minutes at Hampden. You've got that big pitch at Hampden. Do you know, it's a different game altogether. I mean, the one where we beat them 6-0. I mean, that was a freak result. But when it comes to finals, we do have to put a little warning out there. Maddie Bonnie says the match is live on Celtic TV. Yep, it's on live on Celtic TV. It's live on the BBC as well. Baz, where's your heat at? Come on, mate. Dons will park the bus. Exactly. If Dons park the bus, a bit like what they just need to look at what a team did in Europa the other night. Park the bus and try and get through us. We're not that good. Fuck off with the negativity. Positive waves, man, says Paradise Found. I am positive. But you've also got to put... I've also got to play devil's advocate on this. Do you know what I mean? I can't just come on and say, we're fucking going to win, and then we get beat 2-1. And then folk are like, you're a fucking wanker, man. You're a wanker. We are the boys in green. We are that. Lanky says, Aberdeen ain't used to playing on a big pitch. We do it every 2 weeks at Paradise, so the pitch suits us compared to them. Yeah, it could do, but when you look at the way that Aberdeen played against us, Lanky, they were putting their wingers right out onto the pitch up in Aberdeen. I think if they do that today, don't do a vote, Baz. I'm not doing a vote this morning. I hope Beaton isn't on VAR today. Who is on VAR? I seen it earlier. It doesn't matter who's on VAR. It doesn't really matter who's on VAR, because if there's any decisions that go against us, we know that we have to do it on the park, and we have to beat. If there's VAR decisions go against us today, we need to pick ourselves up and go on with the next. Do you know, we can't stop. Never mind Ange Postecoglou will never stop. Brendan Rodgers is we just keep going. Never mind never stopping. It's like we just keep going. Keep going. No one's stopping Dyson Maida. Paul Baird says Aberdeen will try and kick us off the park. League form means nothing when it's a cup game, says Mark. Exactly. And especially the biggest game of the season. McCowan and Forrest to start? Nope. McCowan will come on late the second half. McCowan's a decent player, but he's not going to start this game today. James Forrest won't start either. I'm going up front with Nico Kuhn, Dyson Maida and Adam Ida through the middle. So, Ange Poster who? Exactly. So that's my front three. Brendan Rodgers will go with the front three players that have scored the most goals this season. Don't know, the big man Adam Ida's on 20 goals. Dyson Maida's on 33. Nico Kuhn, he's on about 20, just under 20, is it not? So I think that's your front three today. Is Dyson Maida, Adam Ida and Nico Kuhn. The midfield three speaks for itself. It's Callum McGregor in the midfield, Arne Engels and Paulo Bernardo. That's your midfield three. He's not going to bring anyone else in to play that midfield because Rio Hatate is injured. There's no way that Luke McCowan gets a start before Paulo Bernardo. Paulo Bernardo did it last year in the Scottish Cup, remember? He did that. When it comes to the back line, the only one that you're thinking of is who plays beside Trusty or who plays beside Scales. I think Scales will start. But then does Trusty start? Trusty had a nightmare of a game at Hampden once. Does he bring in Rocky to start beside Liam Scales? Or does he bring in Trusty? Trusty's got that little bit more pace, which could be required against Aberdeen today. The left back and right back, you know who they are. You know who they are all day long. So it's going to be Greg Taylor and Alistair Johnson. So we'll wait and see who starts today. But then again, Cameron Carter-Vickers might walk straight back into the team. You never know. Anyway, like John McGinn, his bonuses to a he gives his bonuses to a homeless charity. Great gesture. There we go. Bernardo's a gem. I think we'll see the best of Bernardo next season. I prefer a 70% Scottish team, says T1. There we go. Spacey says, Baz, the players won't be overconfident. It's the supporters that are overconfident. You got it, mate. You got it and won. The players know that the hard work's still to be done. You know, this one last push, one last serious push, because think about the Aberdeen players. Everyone wants to be the team that stops the domination of Celtic. And if Aberdeen were to do it today, Aberdeen are doing an open top bus around the city. You know, if they do it today, they're doing an open top bus tomorrow afternoon around the city and Sunday afternoon. Celtic won't get to do that. Celtic have set the stage. Yes, we all know about that. Celtic have set the stage at Celtic Park for the expectation of a crowd going back to Celtic Park after the game today, which I think should be done anyway. It will give Brendan Rodgers and the players a chance to say their final words to the fans before they go off on their summer holidays. And like I said yesterday, I think that this will be the opportunity for certain players to say their goodbyes to Celtic fans. Greg Taylor being the first one. He's definitely away. Greg Taylor will not be staying at Celtic, and it remains to be seen what happens in the transfer market with the other players who have been linked away with the club. But one that won't go is Arne Engels. I can't see us selling. When we look past this game today, and we look at potential transfers of players, I think that if anyone's going to go, it will be Dyson Maida and Rio Hatate. I think that those are the two. Because they've been at the club for 4 years now, that's a bit of a shelf life. from then on. Paul B, do you not like Taylor? If Aberdeen starts kicking, I hope Taylor gets it. Last weekend, Maida said his last goodbye at Paradise. Said Lanky, yep, I think so as well. And I think that's why Celtic... You know, that interview, actually, Lanky, talking about that interview that Celtic put out yesterday, that was before Rio Hatate was injured. That interview was done. So it just shows you that Celtic have been sitting on that. What other interviews are they sitting on? Do you know? Playing an offy game. Miller's coming, hopefully, yep. Bench warmers could beat Aberdeen. What's with all the doubt, Baz? You've got to remember, Aberdeen didn't have their strongest team out that day, Richard, but Taylor's off to Govan. That would be the story of the summer if Taylor went to Rangers, wouldn't it? Could he do a Kenny Miller? He'll not go straight to Rangers. Not a chance. I do find that the whole Taylor situation strange. It wouldn't surprise me if he went to Sefco. Anyway, Lanky says, I watched the game on Sky Sports, and the way Maida was looking around Paradise looks like he knew he was leaving. I'm not even want to think about it. Because this summer is going to be a massive one. Like it's a big summer for Celtic. I would like McCowan to start. He must be pissed off on the bench. Jim, but who do you leave on the bench, Jim, to bring in Luke McCowan? Is Luke McCowan better than Arnie Engels? Statistically, there's not much of it. But for me, Luke McCowan gives the ball away too much at the game, and his positioning sometimes just isn't up to scratch. Fantastic lad, fantastic player, can score a cracker of a goal, but I don't think that this is the game. I mean, who do you drop? Seriously, tell me in the comments, Jim McClarty. Who do you drop for Luke McCowan to start? It has to be either Arnie Engels or Paulo Bernardo. And do you really think that he's better than them? Paulo Bernardo was the big difference last year in the Scottish Cup final. I can't see it. I can't see who you drop. Has anyone went straight from one side to the other recently? Who I just said. He's not got a clue. DJ Asbo, he's not got a clue. He's meant to be... what? He's met before, I'm just spamming him up. I have no idea what you're talking about there. Baz, there's not much difference between him and Engels. There's a few goals of a difference. There is a few goals of a difference, but when you look at the stats, when Arnie Engels has played 50 games, 50 odd games, and Luke McCowan's played something like 40 games, the stats kind of close up a bit. So there's no much between them, but I don't think that he would be the one to start. He'll come on in the second half. He's the type of player that can come on and make the difference in the second half. Can he do what Paulo Bernardo did in the Scottish Cup final last year is my question. And that's what I would be thinking. If he can come on and do what Paulo Bernardo did in the second half of the game last season, he'll go down in history. Because for me, that was the game. That was the game that made sure that Brendan Rodgers went, do you know what, we're buying Paulo Bernardo. We've got Bajado, he's a fantastic player. He's just helped us win. He helped us win. It was Paulo Bernardo's shot. Remember, he picked up the ball in the midfield, went past a couple of Rangers players, took the shot for 25 yards out. The keeper spills the ball. Adam Eder comes in, smashes the ball into the back of the net. Celtic fans go wild, and that's it. We're Scottish Cup champions again. And that was all because of Paulo Bernardo. So make sure you watch him today. They've got different styles. Yeah, they do have different styles. That's why I think Paulo will start. Paulo offers creativity, which we need. Just look at last season. Paulo B, a lot of... if Maida and Hatate will be hard to replace. And I don't think Rio Hatate will be hard to replace. I think that you're going to see a different Celtic team next season. Brendan Rodgers looks like he's going for a taller, more physically and faster type of player. He seems to be going back into the French market. He's been to look at the Dutch market. I think Brendan Rodgers is wanting to start bringing in a couple of 6-footers. Chris Sutton height, John Hartson height. I didn't realise how. I mean, I knew everyone called him Big John. Now I know why. After standing in between the two of them last weekend, and I'm like, I thought Sutton was taller, and I told Sutton, I was like, I thought you were a bit taller. Anyway, as the two of them, I'm dwarfed by the two of them. But anyway, no, I'm not really dwarfed. I was like, but John's a big lad, like. But anyway, it was good to meet those two last weekend. If Maida and Hatate are going to be hard to replace, I think when we go into the summer, I don't think Rio Hatate will be the harder one to replace. I think that Dyson Maida, and for what he gives Celtic and his pace, that electric pace. Jota has the trickery. He's going to be out till the January at least, minimum. He's going to be out till January. He might get back quicker, depending on his rehab. But then if you lose Dyson as well, we're going to have to bring in a couple of wingers. Yang's not the answer. I know that we have Yang at the club. He's not the answer. And neither is bringing back Lou Palma. He's not the answer either. So it's going to be one of those summers that, but let's get today over with. Let's just enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the game. Let's hope it's a good game. Let's hope that Celtic turn up and pile on the agony. Let's hope that they turn up and pile on the Albany. Big John's a gentleman. Sat behind him. East Kilbride. Mrs. on the flight from Cardiff to Glasgow. She's a laugh. A lovely couple. Yeah, he's a cracking lad. Cracking lad is Big John. And I actually spoke to him about trying to get him over to Spain to do a couple of gigs. That would be interesting, since there is a big Celtic supporters, a lot of Celtic supporters out here. But then there's something else that I'm quietly going to work on over the summer, which may come into fruition later on. Go get a shower, get ready. Hail, hail everyone, have a fantastic day. I'm away to get shaved, freshen up, get ready for the live 1.5 hours before kickoff when the team is announced publicly. Anyway, on that note, deep breaths, big breakfast, get a scran in you. And just remember, we're Glasgow Celtic. We're not here to take part, we're here to take over. Have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, all around the world.